You know, one of my, I guess you'd say, idiosyncrasies is that I can't watch people implode and melt down. It's cringe-inducing. Maybe you're like this. I'll watch a television show, and if one of the characters is about to humiliate themselves, or a movie and a guy's about to emasculate himself in front of the chick he's pursuing, and I got to turn away. I got to turn the channel. I can't handle it. I cannot watch people melt down and implode. It bothers me. Funny little story about that. Back in 2004, I'm watching a presidential debate between George W. Bush and John Kerry. And this was still when I was in my worship the GOP, not the GOD phase. And, you know, my whole life at that point was predicated on George W. Bush defeating John Kerry. Because, you know, we couldn't let somebody who believed in big government into the White House. Anyway, so I'm watching this debate, and this young woman, very attractive, stands up and she starts talking about a woman's right to choose. And I'm thinking, oh, this is a softball question. John Kerry's going to get on abortion. And then she looks at him and says, but I believe that is not unviable tissue, that it's a baby and that it ought to be protected. Senator, you're Catholic. Why won't you protect that baby? And it put Kerry back on his heels, and it made him just look bad. And his answer, even though I greatly opposed him and I wanted him to lose, I was praying he would lose, I felt like just reaching into the television, stopping him and saying, no, 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 don't do that. Don't say that. Don't go there. I just struggle to watch people implode, even if it's people I don't like and don't agree with. And I had that feeling the last few days, watching Mitt Romney trying to overcome the albatross around his neck, known as Romney Care. And with Mike Huckabee getting out of the race and Newt Gingrich already imploding, as only Newt can, the table is set. The table was set for Mitt Romney to grab the brass ring. And instead, well, John McCain, supporting the TARP in 2008, called, and he thought Mitt Romney did something foolish. Mitt Romney had a chance to get rid of the albatross, known as Romney Care. He could have simply said, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm one of those Republicans who in my past believed that we needed to work across the aisle with Democrats for the better part of our constituents, that we needed to moderate, that we needed to compromise, that we needed to get things done. And I fell for that lie. And what we got done has nearly wrecked the economy of my state. It's wildly unpopular. It's the model that Barack Obama has used to impose mandates upon the rest of the country. And if states are the laboratories of democracy, well, the state of Massachusetts did an experiment with individual mandates and government-run healthcare systems and found that it's a disaster. And there's no reason at all, no way at all, we ought to be replicating that on a national basis. And we need to appeal Obamacare right away. And as someone who's been down this road, as someone who's made this mistake already before and knows that he needs to make amends for it and knows what he's talking about, no one will fight harder to make sure that Obamacare never becomes law as President of the United States than I will. That's what Mitt Romney had to say. And if he would have said it, he'd be in a lot better shape politically today. So is that what he said? No. Instead, what he did is he went on live television, said, hey, hand me that revolver. And someone handed him a loaded pistol. He then took off his shoe, exposing his bare foot in front of the camera, pointed it at his foot, and pulled the trigger. And instead tried to defend this unconstitutional monstrosity and travesty known as Romney Care. And so instead of, remember Steve Young in that Super Bowl where he went up to Jerry Rice in the sidelines and pretended to take that monkey off his back, that monkey he'd been carrying as the guy who had to follow in the footsteps of Joe Montana, who never won the big one, and he just felt that weight when he knew he was going to finally get his ring. Mitt Romney could have done that. Mitt Romney could have done that. Could have been the next Mormon on a national stage like Steve Young to take the monkey off his back. And instead, he took that monkey and said, I'm not only going to not take it off my back, man, I'm going to hug it, I'm going to marinate in it, I'm going to sleep with it, I'm going to permanently attach it to my body, I'm going to immerse myself in it. And that's yet another reason why Willard will never be the President of the United States. Thanks for joining us today at stevedeace.com. If you want to email me, have a subject you want me to address, feel free to do so at steve@stevedeace.com. You can also find us on Facebook at Steve and Deace, Twitter at Steve_Deace. God bless.